Hello? It's been about 3 years since my appendix burst. And about 2 years, I think? I have no idea, since I finally edited part 1 and put it out. I'm actually now remembered and got round to doing part 2. And hopefully part 3 won't be far behind. Before we get into it, I have heard many times from my parents that I got some of my facts wrong in the first part. It turned out my mum and dad came up to Edinburgh that evening, so I saw them that night. They came and visited me that night, and I have no recollection whatsoever of any of this happening. They did come and see me that night, so there might be more fact-checking needing to be done after part 2 and part 3, but here they are. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I think you just got food poisoning. I phoned NHS 24 again and had my appendix out, which was fun. I wake up, I've got a drain in my stomach, and I had an IV the other side. So that's it. That's part 1 of the story. And we're back! And I've put clothes on. What is that? That's horrible. Yeah, so we're back. Last time I was in a hospital bed with a drain coming out my side. I had an IV in my arm, getting antibiotics. I was a little miserable. My operation was done keyhole, so I don't even have a cool scar. But my appendix came out. I can't move, which is fun. Got to get somebody to help me into bed so that they can carry the drain so I don't pull the drain. That was weird. Probably didn't sleep that well that night. It's weird trying to sleep in hospital, as many people know, because there's just so much going on, and especially the ward I was in, the colorectal ward, which sounds tremendous. For most of the week I was on 3 different types of antibiotics 3 times a day. The Sunday I wake up, you're waiting for the surgeon to come round, the consultant, so that you can find out how your operation went. I had a great consultant, Mr. Patterson. Shout out to Mr. Patterson. A wise man. He came across as just a very knowledgeable person. Yeah, so I'm waiting. Consultant arrives and I'm like, yes, thank goodness, I can't wait. I can't wait to find out how my operation went, because that's what you want. Obviously you're still alive, so that's quite a good sign. You want to know if everything was as it should be when they were guddling about inside you. So she appears. Hello. Hello, Katrina, if that's her name, I can't remember. She walks up and she said, that was the worst case of appendicitis I've ever seen. Great! Turns out that my appendix had ruptured and had also gone gangrenous. What? People don't get gangrene. People on Everest get gangrene. I don't know if it burst at the start of the week on the Monday, but gangrene doesn't happen overnight. My appendix had died and started to rot inside me. I'm sitting for the whole week going, oh, I've got food poisoning and eating oatcakes and bananas. So I got gangrene. And I had peritonitis as well, which I think is an infection of the lining of the stomach. There was risk of a bowel ileus, which I did get. Bowels don't like to be moved. They don't like it so much that they go on strike. It's like that. Leave me alone, don't touch. Yeah, so my bowel went on strike, which was nice as well. On the Sunday, the play that I'm in, I would have had a rehearsal on the Sunday night. So I texted the director. I was like, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be in rehearsals tomorrow. And literally, he turned up with one of my friends from work and his girlfriend, and that was awesome. That was so nice. Shout out to them. Supposedly, one of my eyes went quite open. My mum and dad turned up, and they came and saw me in the afternoon. And they went to my flat, got me a few things. I think I got the drain out that day. And it was the weirdest thing, because it goes in your side here, and I expected it to just go in and, like, just in, and then that's you. When they pulled it out, I felt it go, like, wrap right around and then whip out. So that was weird when they pulled that out. On the Monday night, I threw up. So I wasn't having a good day. I threw up just before bed, I think in the evening. And it was black. That's what it looked like. I was terrified. I asked the nurse, I was like, is this normal? And they just like, yeah, don't worry about it, that's my bile. Bile? You think bile's yellow? Surely? That's what I think. But no, because I threw up that night. Lucky me, it meant that I had to have a tube put into my stomach. I don't think I was eating, but I threw up. So they put a tube through my nose, down at my stomach. And I was hooked up to a pot because it got put in the Monday night, so I think I had a drain as well. So there was one point I'm sitting with a drain and a tube coming out my nose to another tube and my IV antibiotics in one arm. So I'm probably just sitting there, miserable. I can't go to the toilet. I just need to pee into a pot. Or ask for a bloody commode. They're cool. I had a catheter in for the first day. Thought that was pretty cool to begin with, didn't have to move. Getting that out was fun as well, but I'm not going to go into that. I couldn't move and I'm hooked up to a bloody tube and there's stuff coming out of it, like obviously cleaning my stomach. The next day, not a lot came out of the tube, so they decided that they would spigot the tube off, so they just popped a cork. It's like a plastic thing into the end of it, so I've still got it hanging out my nose and it's taped onto my nose, so it's just hanging. I don't know if this is going to be fun for people to watch. Do I care? No. And I think they took my drain out. And my sister came to visit that day, which was really nice. We went a walk. They try and encourage you to walk about so that you're not just sitting. And so yeah, that was nice to have my sister there. Nothing dramatic happened that day. The tube was hot. I could feel it in my throat. Every time I swallowed, I could feel it. If I moved certain ways, I could feel it moving in my throat. So I couldn't wait to get it out. So on the Wednesday, my mum was going to travel up from Stranraer, stay in my flat for the week, or for the rest of the week. And she came and visited me every day, which is amazing of her. She came and she stayed the whole day from the moment visiting time was open until 8, 9 o'clock. I can't remember when it finished, but she'd stay the whole time. She didn't have to do that. I think I told her that at one point. I was like, here, if you want to go for a day in Edinburgh, like, I'm an adult, I can deal with being alone for a day, but no, she came and she stayed the whole day, every day. I love you, Mum. But she was going to come up. I didn't have any shoes or anything like that, so my mum bought me some slippers and she was going to bring them. That morning, surgeon arrived. And the consultant, Mr. Patterson, was there. I'm obviously not very happy about the tube. They knew about it on Tuesday morning, they'd asked about it. They were saying, well, I think we'll get this tube out. Not enough had come out of it to merit it staying in, so I think we'll take the tube out. Thank you, Lord. So Katrina, if that's her name, whipped out the tube. Hoorah, I said to myself. I went for a shower, because I'm free, and it was amazing. It was incredible. When you got a tube as well, you're not allowed to eat, you shouldn't drink much. They said, sip water for comfort. I like to drink water because I'm thirsty. So anyway, they gave me lunch. It was some minestrone soup. I was a bit tentative. I hadn't eaten like the whole week. My minestrone soup arrived. Tentatively, I picked up my spoon. I half filled the little spoon, sip it, just a little sip of the liquid. I should probably have some more of this little water. I'm trying my best here. I have maybe 3 teaspoons of liquid, maybe 2. Well done, Gordon. You've eaten for the first time. My mum arrives, 2 o'clock, prompt. She brings me my slippers. We have a chat. About 3 o'clock, I say, Mum, let's go for a walk. I like going for walks. Walks are good for me. I was told to try and have a walk every 45 minutes. We stand up. I don't know if I've got a little cardigan or something, put around my shoulders. We walk out the ward. I take my first tentative steps out the ward, Mum by my side. I get about 5 steps out of the ward and I have a little burp. Oh, I say, that wasn't nice. That was not a pleasant burp. Mum, let's turn around. I need to go back. This is not good for me. I turn around and I have the most violent eruption of sick that you've ever seen in your life. Everywhere. All over my cell, all over the floor, over my new slippers. Yeah, it was another burp and it just went everywhere and it did not stop. The nurses were like, action station. One of them's getting a basin, the other one's getting like a mop. They're handing me like sick basin. They're handing me them, I'm filling them and handing them back. It just kept coming. I filled about 4, it was a lot, whatever it was. My mum will vouch for this, it was a lot. In cartoons, when somebody throws up, it is a vibrant green. And you go, people don't throw up green. Yes, they bloody do. It was like The Exorcist in the Western genre. It was horrible. My mum used to be a nurse, and she said, is it meant to be that colour? What? That's not what you want to hear in your moment of throwing up all over the ward. They said it was fine. Yes, that's normal, but it didn't feel normal. So I'm standing, my hands out. My mum said my chin was all green. There was a really nice nurse. Jill, good old Jill. She takes my hand like an old lady and leads me back to my bed. I'm a sick boy. And I turn around to her and I say, Jill, I thought I was getting better. She says to me, me too, honey. Then leads me back to my chair, sits me down, hands out, because I've got green all over me, staring at the floor. Jill, the angel that she is, had to put another tube down my nose. And I had another tube put down my nose, and now I've got a lovely little groove from the second time. Lovely little groove in my nose. I think that was my lowest point. Well, I feel sorry for my mum, who had to watch the whole thing. Like, she's holding on to my arm walking up the corridor, and then all of a sudden, it was like a volcano. I'm glad it didn't happen when my sister was there. I have no idea what my sister would do. Run up the other end of the corridor. I was probably very quiet for the rest of that day. Immobile again, because this thing's coming in, hooked up to a thing in the wall, collecting. Minestrone soup did that to me. So the rest of the week went by without much excitement. Slowly my bowel alias decided to come out of strike, which was nice. I was able to eat on the Friday. The Saturday my antibiotics stopped. Still wasn't enjoyable. Having my mum there every single day made it so much easier. Doing crosswords, she brought a wee crossword book and we just did crosswords every day. And I was discharged on the Sunday. It was so good. Walking outside, sunlight. I was still sore. Being in hospital hurt my butt. Sitting in those bloody plastic chairs. My butt was raw. So we went home and I was gonna go home to recover. That's part 2. Because the fun doesn't end there. Some of that. He likes jumping on you. He's not very subtle. She started to throb a wee bit as well. I cried that morning, subtly